Hey everyone, AYBL Main here, coming back at you in my continuing series of the top 5 albums for every year I've been alive. We're at year 12, puts us in the 1980s, and as I said, the 80s took a little bit of a turn for how music was going to be coming at you and what styles and everything, so be prepared for something a little bit different as we go forward. In my top five, an album I didn't think would ever make my top five if you asked me like 9 months ago is Talking Heads Remain in Light. Born Under Punches, Once in a Lifetime, all great tracks. They've really grown on me a little bit more, and I think you've really got to check out this record for the influences that you're going to get. Solid production work by Brian Eno on this. You got to give him credit for it. Speaking of solid production work, Steely Dan's Gaucho. It's got Hey 19 on it, Time Out of Mind. You definitely got to listen to this album. If you're really into really good, crisp instrumentation and nice production, Becker and Fagan is just not going to disappoint you anytime. So Steely Dan's Gaucho is definitely in my top five as well. Also, one of the forebearers of the jangle pop sound, which is the Feelies, Crazy Rhythms. They've got some great songs on here, Forces at Work, and then there's the title track. Fasala is also on here. You definitely should check out this album if you like that jangle pop, alternative pop, early alternative rock sound. You'll really appreciate the things that they're doing on here. Also in my top five is Dire Straits, Making Movies. The entire first side is just great. Now you can throw on a Dire Straits song, and you're almost going to immediately notice that Mark Knopfler is on the guitar. He just has a very distinct sound. The beginning of this album, the side one, Tunnel of Love, Romeo and Juliet, Skate Away, all great stuff. I highly recommend this album. It was really close to being my number one, but my number one album for 1980 was Glass Houses by Billy Joel. The downside I've always thought about Billy Joel is he always makes his side ones so front loaded like that. And all of his hits seem to always come from side one. This one's no different, but those songs are so good that you just have to love this album all the way, and listen to it all the way through, and you're gonna love the album anyway. You may be right. It's still rock and roll to me. Those are just classic songs that I can remember when I was, just 12 and 13 years old. Just great stuff. Highly recommend it. Now on to my album that everybody says I should love, but I didn't, or really in this case I just don't. And I don't think it's because it's overrated as much as it was overplayed. It's AC/DC's Back in Black. Yeah, it has all the hits that you're gonna think that you're gonna have, but once you hear one AC/DC song, you've really heard like every AC/DC song to some extent. So listening to this album on repeat is just not something that would ever appeal to me. It's okay if somebody has it on in the background and I'm walking by and they're playing You Shook Me All Night Long or Hell's Bells. I mean, I've heard those songs. I know the lyrics to them over enough time, but it's not an album that I'm going to go back to and revisit. Probably, I'll probably have it on my shelf somewhere. I bet you I do. I bet you have it on CD even. But it's overrated, and I just don't consider it an album that I really love. So that's all I got for this time, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves, and I'll see you in a couple days and hit up 1981 and see where we're at.